Hi, this is Rick for EDU Mobile Academy. I'm here to talk about our new course on regular expressions in Linux. This is the third part of our Linux course series, and this course will explore GREP and SED, which are a couple of tools to work with text using regular expressions, and also regular expression syntax itself. The reason this is so important in Linux is that probably better than half of what we do in Unix-based operating systems has to do with working with text. And GREP and SED are very useful tools for working with text. GREP looks for patterns in text, and SED looks for patterns and might replace them in text. So in the first unit of the course, we'll be talking about GREP and some switches we use with it, the command line switches, and a few things that we do with GREP in the context of learning regular expressions. We'll talk about piping the output of other things to GREP, like file listings and so forth. And we'll talk about regular expression syntax. And in particular, we'll talk about the characters that are used in regular expressions to control what is being found and how it's being replaced. These are called meta characters. We'll have a couple of examples of finding text in files. One, the first example, we will validate email addresses in files. In other words, only print out the correct emails. And in the second example, we'll do the same thing, but this time we'll validate phone numbers. In the second unit, we'll have an introduction to SED and what it can do. SED is short for Stream Editor. So SED edits more or less in place any stream we send to it, streams being files, etc. We'll talk about a feature of regular expressions that we didn't talk about in the first unit, which are called back expressions, pulling out parts of search text to be replaced in a replacement string to SED. We'll talk about SED's address notation, where we can only look for text in certain lines. We'll talk about printing only the line numbers in SED. And then, finally, we'll talk about how to script SED. In other words, write a file that contains SED instructions to be run in a script to SED. And of course, we'll talk about the full command syntax to the SED tool itself. I hope you join us for this course on regular expressions using GREP and SED. And thank you very much.